Americans have a mental health problem. That's what they're told. 1 in 5 Americans are taking some sort of antidepressant now in the year 2026. And I don't think that's a coincidence, but here is the question. Is that just a fabrication that is created by Big Pharma? Or is there something bigger going on? That is what I'm going to speak about today because I always talk about real issues. And so if you like my content and you want to support me, then here's how you do it. You just hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to see more of my videos. I post each and every single day. But enough about that. Let's get back to the mental health crisis that is supposedly happening in America. Here's the truth, guys. There is no mental health crisis happening in America for the most part. It is way out of proportion, and here is what is actually happening. Doctors are incentivized to prescribe you medication, right? That's what they do. I went to med school. I would know. Trust me. I know many, many doctors, and their hands are tied. It's not even their fault because they say, Kyler, what am I supposed to do? These people come in wanting these things, and if I don't give them these things, and instead I tell them they need a better diet, they need this, they need that, then they're going to go somewhere else. And I'm going to lose them as a patient. They already have diagnosed themselves due to things like WebMD online. And so I don't stand a chance. And it's also because your doctor actually doesn't know you. They don't know a damn thing about you. I bet you that the person that makes your mocha latte frappuccino every single day on your way to work knows more about your life than your doctor. If you go into your doctor tomorrow and you say, Doc, I'm depressed, what are they going to say? They're going to prescribe you medication. They're going to ask you why. Maybe you just went through a divorce. Maybe your dog just died. Like something terrible happened. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you fell into a Somali scam and lost $80,000 because you thought you were buying a timeshare in Venezuela. Who knows? Who knows why you're depressed? Regardless, they don't even ask a simple question. So I wouldn't take their word through anything because these doctors, I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt, but trust me, they are incentivized to provide you with these SSRIs and antidepressants. That's how they make their bread and their butter. That's how they make all that cheese. They have to pay their bills, guys. Med school is not cheap. It is not cheap to become a doctor. And they didn't do it for charity. They did it for profit. They did it to make their lives better. Secondly, I'd just like to say that these big companies like Pfizer are absolutely almost brainwashing these doctors. They pay for criterion for them to read and they pay for them to almost be brainwashed into handing out these prescriptions because it's all from a script. I know basically the person that is in charge of all of Pfizer throughout the Midwest. It's broken down into it's compartmentalized into the Midwest, the East Coast, the West Coast. Well, in the Midwest, I can only speak from what I know, and I know this guy quite well. He I see his life and I'm like, oh my God, like he's going on cruises and he is smoozing around with these doctors. His whole job is basically to provide a comfortable life for these doctors. He'll get tickets to shows, like expensive shows or cruises or vacations or very, very fancy restaurants. He'll show up with donuts and coffee on Fridays, and then he will read from a script and he will tell that doctor exactly why they need that medication. That's the main issue here, is that the doctor is not taking it uh, into his own hands when it comes to where he gets his information from. He's just getting it from the Pfizer representatives, and they are cramming nothing but nonsense down the throats of the doctors that see people like me and you every single day because they're incentivized to do so because that's what they do. It's a business, and they sell fucking medicine. They sell medicine. You better start selling some medicine, bitches. Like that's what it comes down to. These like Pfizer people are it's really really quite crazy what they do once you know what they do behind the scenes. They hire the most beautiful, most attractive women to smooze around with lonely single doctors and they say, come on, come out to the club with me. They do all of these things, and I've seen this like firsthand. This is what they're doing. So that is why there is such a, a, a mental health and depression issue within the United States, is because it's being wrongfully diagnosed. But even if it weren't, here is another issue that only compounds to the issue of mixed diagnoses and the fact that people are being misdiagnosed with things that they don't actually have. It's okay to be sad occasionally. It doesn't mean that you need to turn into a robot by taking a magical pill. But look at the content that we are watching online. Look at what we are cramming our brains with on a day-to-day basis. Nothing but negativity and outlandish, sensational bullshit on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, on Instagram. It's nothing but negative things that you're watching every single day. And it's going to make you think that the world is a very drama-fueled, very negative place to be within. And we're all within the world and we're just trying to live. And so I think that you should really limit yourself to what you watch online, because you're going to get your brain crammed full of this content that is provocative and outlandish and cruel and horrific and terrifying, and it scares you. And it makes you feel like life isn't okay. And life is okay. It's perfectly fine to be sad at times. It doesn't mean that you need a pill. It's okay to be anxious. And a lot of the times, if you are anxious, then there might be good reason for it. Or you should go out and conquer your fear. You shouldn't just take these magical pills that will basically promise you that it will go away, because there is no biological free lunch. There is no biological free lunch, and everything that we're doing to our population currently will have negative adverse effects in the future. It's guaranteed to. Just because we don't have the data, the data is being suppressed by the pharmaceutical industries, and they pay for everything. They are printing money. They're absolutely printing money. I can remember a time not that long ago, guys. I'm 30 years old. I remember a time when it was absurd to put your child on medication, and some children actually need it, but the majority of them don't. Look at things like Adderall. I think 1 in every 20 children are on Adderall, and it gets crazy. Like, a lot of adults are on Adderall, and it's not that your child has a learning disability or can't pay attention. It's that you're too lazy as a parent to correctly parent them and spend time, effort, and energy into tailoring your life to be more attentive towards growing your children in a positive, constructive way. That's what it comes down to. The onus is on you as a parent, and I feel particularly angry when I hear stories about this, because I think to myself, these parents are ruining the neurochemistry of their children's brains, and they won't be able to function correctly for the rest of their lives. And it's out of nothing other than negligence and disconcern. It's obscene to me. Yeah, your child can't pay attention. Maybe it's because he doesn't enjoy what he's being taught. So you have to make it interesting, make it fascinating, apply it to something that he cares about, and he or she will begin to prosper. But we don't do that. We absolutely don't do that. We think we can fix things. And it's that way with anything. Humans like the easy way out. When someone gets overweight, what do they want? They want to take a pill. They don't want to put the time and effort into going to the gym and changing some of their bad habits when it comes to diet or caloric intake. Guys, if I wanted to create a book that was about how to really actually lose weight 100%, it would be 1 page. It would be 1 sentence. Eat less calories. If you burn more calories than you take in, you will lose weight. And vice versa. If you do the opposite, you will gain. It's as simple as that. But That's very difficult to do for some people because some people don't like putting the effort in. And funny enough, that's what life comes down to. If you put time and effort into something and have delayed gratification, then voila, you 15, 20 years later, overnight, you become successful, right? That's what everyone thinks, but it's not overnight. It's all of these small decisions that you put together that eventually construct something beautiful and grand. And then when people look at it, they can't imagine how you obtained something like that. And it's because they're very, very short-minded. They don't think long term. And I think that doctors should begin actually taking the time to speak to their patients. I don't think that a barber should have a better relationship with a patient than a doctor. Because if you don't know all the details and all the variables, then who are you to make an informed, educated decision as to whether or not I need something that's going to alter the chemistry within my brain? It's crazy to me. America doesn't have a problem. In fact, if they did have a problem, do you know what that problem is? It's greed. It's greed and it's neglect. And of that, we have plenty of. We're plentiful in greed, neglect, and disconcern. And if you guys feel the same way and this speaks to you in some way, then make sure that you like this video and make sure you subscribe because I always talk about real things and I'm not scared to touch any subject. Look at my other videos. I will talk about absolutely anything and it's that simple. If it is on my mind, then I'm going to express it. I don't cower for anything. I'll speak about anything. You can't take anything away from me. It's nothing is going to come of me speaking the truth, and that's my truth. And I think that it can be applied to the world and it can make the world a better place because these doctors are handing out medications like candy, but it's not candy. It's very, very sinister and they know exactly what they're doing, and yet they're doing it anyways because they're incentivized by profit. And so make sure you let me know in the comments how this made you feel or what we can do about it. Because as long as our healthcare is for profit, and I don't even know if it should be, I don't know, genuinely. There's pros and cons to doing it for profit or if we nationalize it. I don't know. Let me know. If there's any doctors that watch this, let me know because the ones that I've spoken to have put it pretty blatantly that they, even though they want to do something, and these are the very few people that actually are compassionate, even if they wanted to do something, their hands are tied. And that's what it comes down to. They just shrug and say, well, it just is what it is. But it doesn't have to be that way. It could be something much more tailored towards that person's actual needs. And it could be something that would be actually beneficial to that person instead of just having them pop a medication in hopes of making their lives better instantaneously. Remember, nothing that comes easy is ever worth having.